Welcome back to the Now's Media Podcast. This is Bonding with Bond. I'm Mark.
And I'm Nicholas.
And today, me and Nicholas are going to have a fight.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be that big of a fight, but Casino Royale, not as good as I remember it.
Same.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked, honestly.
I remember Casino Royale being like top 5 Bond movies material, and it is. Cause then I was also excited because like with this movie, it would have kicked Roger Moore out of the top 10. But I think it's sitting comfortably at number 13 under Goldfinger, Live and Let Die, Spy Who Loved Me, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's. I thought this was going to be my in 1, 2, or 3. But
not
no,
even close.
it's in my top 10, but it's not anywhere close to number 3 even.
Yeah, it does. This movie does not hold up at all.
It doesn't start strong either.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like the opening because I like film noir, but also like it's an exaggerated film noir. It's
super.
It's shot like Orson Welles doing a Kafka piece. You know, it's like it's too like fisheye lens and like. I don't know.
Every shot's a Dutch angle.
Yeah, it's like, what is this, a fucking Third Man? Like, come on.
I like it overall, but like when we were going through it, Daniel Craig's line delivery is just rough.
Yeah.
It's just plain, and we get his psychotic eyes just directly in the camera so often, too. And that carries throughout the movie.
I'm going to probably deconstruct a lot of Daniel Craig's performance and why I don't like it throughout the film. From the get, I know what they're trying to do and doesn't succeed. They're trying to do the Connery Dr. No moment, but Craig is so hyper fixated on this man, like his eyes are never. He doesn't blink.
Oh, you've had your 6 thing.
Yeah, they're trying to do that, and we're cutting also away to his first kill and everything. He's found this guy out who's trading secrets to another government or whatever.
And he killed his connection, was his first kill.
Yeah, and he does the thing where Bond is staring at him, and then he goes like, "Huh, shame, Bond. We didn't hardly get to know each other." He pulls the thing. There's no bullets in the gun. He's like, "I know where you keep your bullets." Yada yada yada. And then he kills him. Well, the guy's like, "Well, the first kill, he made you feel it, didn't he?" Well, the second one is, and he shoots him. He's like, "Yes, considerably," and leaves. We have our fake gun barrel. Where the connection guy wakes up to grab a gun, then Bond turns around and shoots him, and you have the Chris Cornell song play, which is awesome. But why I don't like Craig here, I think Craig's a really good actor outside of this movie. I just don't think he's a great James Bond. Here, so the reason why you had your 6 moment works and this one doesn't, for me, is that Craig is so hyper fixated on the dude, he's like staring at him. There's no time for the guy to like slowly get. When the guy slowly grabs the gun and Craig just sits there, no reaction. It's just like, okay, then that means he has he has a backup plan.
Yeah.
Whereas the reason why you've had your 6 moment works is because Connery's sitting there playing solitaire, smoking a cigarette and drinking, and has no interest in the gun. And while this is happening, you have the guy slowly grabbing the gun while Bond isn't paying any attention to him. And so when he grabs the gun and shoots, and he's empty, and Bond just like looks at him. He grabs his gun. He's like, "You've had your 6," and he shoots him with the cigarette dangling from his mouth. That's a guy who is fully like
a guy who's killed many times, huh? Not a guy who has just killed his first and second person, perhaps.
That's a good counter argument.
Yeah, perhaps he's nervous. I literally thought of that while the scene was going. I was completely on your team because I was like, does Craig suck as Bond? I was like, what the fuck? And I think because You've Had Your 6 is probably one of my favorite scenes in cinema. It's insane. And this is just nowhere close to that. And
yeah.
I don't know if they were in my head canon. I'm like, oh yeah, he's nervous. It's his first one. And that's how I'll justify it.
No, that's a good justification, but I still don't think it works. He's not nervous enough.
Yeah. That's what I was like, ooh, I kind of like the idea that he's like, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm going to be able to kill this guy. But yeah, he shows like no nerves at all. I like the coldness of it, but it feels less earned than You've Had Your 6, where he's like, again, we like the cold blood kills where it's like, oh, you have no weapon and I could just take you in, but bang.
Yeah. I mean, like I like I like the idea. It's just that he's not playing it, and he's not doing either way.
Yeah.
You got to
it's like in the middle.
You're either buying in or you're buying in to one side. You either got to be the Connery or you got to be the nervous first time.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's just sitting there.
Yeah, it's like
blank faced.
Like it's like, ooh, he's excited to become a 00. But I kind of want it to be more nervous if they were going that route.
There's a simple thing you can just do with that is where he just has to have like a look down and look up moment.
Yeah,
or
like
it's just
sweat.
like he's just gotta have that moment of like, all right, here it comes.
It cuts to him and he's just drenched armpits.
Yeah, like the part where the way you could have had that where I would have kind of believed you is that like when before the guy pulls the gun on him, Bond like. He's like, well, how did you find me, blah, blah, and then Bond reaches over and grabs the thing, and he looks back, and the guy's got the gun.
Oh, yeah.
And then he, like, kind of stops for a minute, and then he continues to go back to what he was doing.
Yeah, I think they could have done it better, for sure. There's a lot of things in this movie where we both went, yeah, why? You could have done that a little better.
Well, and like I also see your argument with the whole idea that it's like his first time, he's nervous, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But the issue is that he does it the whole movie. This is his performance, is that he just stares at people blankly. And I get it. They're doing like, Bonds would actually be a brute in real life. Well, it's just like, cool. But you know what? Like, it's not that fun to watch.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And that's like...
It's like, you want to like Connery's cool to watch? Because he's fucking cool.
Yeah. I think like 2 action scenes in where we're like, oh, yeah, this is just like a 2000s action movie, huh? Like,
yeah.
There's
no
like,
difference between this and the Bourne movies.
And that's like, in my memory, and I've said it a million times, it's why I like George a lot. It's like, it has the espionage stuff. Like, Dr. No has the shit I like, where it's like, just slowly doing research of a room to make sure everything's all right, or like setting up little booby traps. In this one, it's like action piece and then almost immediately into another action piece. I'm like, no.
Well, it's also because you can't do the espionage thing that much in this because it's like
the cell phones
and computers. That's why I think Quentin Tarantino is right. I think Bond should be a period piece.
Yeah, I think like this almost like confirms that whole idea for me. Because I think it like Bond can exist now, and they almost do it all right, but it doesn't feel enough like the original series.
Yeah.
Like, really, I think Pierce still, that was like the edge of where I was like, okay, this is getting to be almost like too action-y movie, and not enough like espionage piece, but dude, oh, God. GoldenEye. Oh, whoo. But it like I think after GoldenEye it starts getting too actiony for me. And I'm like, oh, it's losing the shit that I like. And this just like concludes that, which in my memory this was like, ooh, the hard brute one that still has the espionage pieces. But there's like he does like 2 Google searches on people.
Yeah.
And that's like the espionage in this movie.
I think Pierce has more espionage moments throughout his tenure.
I think he does. Well, I don't.
Compared to this, I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying not to. I was yelling at Mark before this that we can't talk about the future movies because the continuity shit is weird with how they bring characters back and stuff. And I don't want that to affect this movie. It can affect the next movie.
It by default does, but yeah. Okay.
No, dude,
I'm gonna play the next game where I'm not gonna acknowledge that they take everything from this movie and ruin it in the next one, and then they take everything also in this movie and they ruin it in the 4th one, and they take everything in that movie and they also ruin it in the 5th one. It's like it does affect the series. The reason why people don't like Force Awakens now, it's because like when it came out it was great, and then it's like it's setting up all these things, and then it's like, all right, well, what do you do with it? And it's like you either do good, and then people will look back at that movie in fondness, or people are gonna look at it like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah. See, and the difference is, I really like Force Awakens, and I have the poster framed in my room. Like, and maybe it's just we're 2 completely different types of people. Like, I almost take things, and I've said this about trilogy movies too. Like, I hate a lot of number 2 movies in trilogies because it's not a good movie on its own. It just takes everything from the first one and then just makes everything for the third one. And I'm like, oh, except Two Towers, but. 2 Towers was good.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Empire Strikes in little tangent. Did they plan on making 3 at that point? Do you know?
They plan on making 9,
Okay.
and then 2 was a disaster to make, so they were like,
Let's
yeah.
do 3.
That's why Return of the Jedi is a little bit of a mess because they're condensing all the
That
idea.
makes sense.
That's why there's a lot of things
movies
that are built are hinted at in Empire Strikes Back that aren't talked about much, except they're thrown away. That's why Luke is Leia's sister.
That makes sense.
I mean, Leia's Luke's sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also yeah, this isn't gonna make the movie bad. It's just in my head, I think about the next movie, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
it's gonna ruin because you get hyped to watch the next one, and then it's gonna ruin it. It's like what happens if I watch Dark Knight trilogy. I watch Batman Begins, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, and then I watch Dark Knight, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, but then I'm like, oh fuck man, because then Dark Knight Rises isn't that good. Yeah. You think the Dark Knight Rises is bad? Why'd you get the Quantum of Solace?
I totally see your side too. I just try to not do that and try to do everything on its own. But I think there's merit in doing it as what it affects a series with. And we're gonna get really into this at the end of this one.
Yeah,
because the last scene is something.
Yeah, but to continue our thoughts with that, for me, this movie's always going to be intrinsically tied to Quantum of Solace because they were so connected, to the point where it's Quantum of Solace starts where this ends, and it's literally a useless movie without this one. I'm not saying that Quantum of Solace has any use, but I'm saying it's even worse without this movie attached to it. But yeah, no. To finish that other thought. Bond should be a period piece because I think the books are written in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if they keep going after that. But the original book series, the first 14 that Ian wrote before, they still make them in there. There's a lot of the books that I didn't even know about until a couple weeks ago.
But are they period pieces?
I don't know. I literally only thought there was the original 14, and that's what I'm working through. And then I ended up on a Wikipedia wormhole for some reason, and they were like, "Oh, the after, his son continued some of them, and then it's still I don't know if it's still going, but there was
it is
30 something books at this point.
Yeah,
it's and but I think my thought process is there as a universe, I'm okay with there being current ones if it's not Casino Royale. And I would love period piece ones that were still there. But I think it's cool to see a modern spy. And I think Bond is a good vessel for it.
Yeah.
To have the core of Bond still and then kind of just put him in the future. But I think it works so much better as a period piece. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The old stuff is so much better.
Yeah. It works better as a Cold War thriller.
Yeah, and that's
that's why the Connery movies are the best.
Yeah, and the Cold War is just such a perfect spot for it too.
Yeah. It's also that 60s aesthetic works better with the character.
Oh my god. So I rewatched I know last week we talked about I plan on rewatching my favorite one of each Bond to rank them. Hopefully my Daniel Craig favorite one is Skyfall now. So I'll wait till Skyfall to officially do that. But I only got through Dr. No before I got busy with the week. And oh my god, dude, all the aesthetic stuff going on, everything looks so cool. It's so perfect for the role. I missed it.
So are you saying right now that Connery is better than Daniel Craig?
I think so. I think this performance is what you were talking about. It's more 2000s action person than Bond.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I and this is where the problem happens, is I don't know if I like George or Sean more. Because I really like George.
I know you really like George.
Yeah. I really like Dalton and Pierce, but I think it's almost the same argument too, where it's he's kind of becoming a 90s action guy versus the cold calculated guy. But I still think it works with Bond, where this it's too Departed almost.
Well, I think they make a concerted effort with Pierce, where they're like, "You're such a relic of the Cold War," blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and he goes like point tank, and she's like, "No, not quite." And and they rip him to shreds, and he embodies that, where it's like, this is a guy who lived through the Cold War and he's still going type thing. I think it works with Pierce.
This one's so fucking weird too with like timeline stuff, because M's like, I miss the Cold War. And
Yeah, because that's their way of being like, it's a reboot, and it's just like general audiences aren't gonna get that.
Yeah, and I'm like so.
So general audiences are gonna get that, but they're not gonna get fucking Sylvia Trench and Tomorrow Never Dies. Thank you. I wanted
just
to
put Sylvia Trench back.
Yeah,
just fix the name.
Put it back
in the. That's good. And we're like 4 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, we already had to have like this fucking aside about the fucking what Bond should and shouldn't be.
Yeah. And
I'm like,
uh-oh.
Yeah.
But man, that title sequence, whoo.
Yeah.
This in
your movie's fucked when the title sequence is probably the best part of the movie.
Oh my god, dude. This is like
this is the best title sequence.
Yeah, all the 90s and 80s ones, I've been like, man, I think I've seen it, like the whole Daniel Craig visual style is better for this when they got into CG. And oh my god, like I don't think it's better CG. I just think it's better stylization of it.
Yeah, I do like the World's Not Enough one more.
Yeah, there's some,
the one where they use the oil and everything.
Yeah, I think the later half of that one, I was like, and I can see people thinking these ones are kind of boring because it's the same theme throughout the whole beginning part. Like the oil, I think it switches to like fire halfway through, and the oil was just so perfect for it. It looked so cool. But this one, it's like just the cards, the suits over and over again. But they perfected it in my mind. I'm like, oh, thank God they did this. In this song, it's so good.
It's definitely my top 10 favorite Bond songs.
This is like,
I wouldn't say it's my top 5.
I think this is my second favorite one. I think Live and Let Die is. Yeah, it just has to be.
Yeah, you gotta fucking.
I heard Under the Mango Tree again. Oh my god! And I'm sorry, just because it's fresh in my head. In Doctor No, how they didn't make the song, the James Bond theme loop, and halfway through the title sequence, it just ends and starts the song over again. I was dying laughing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it goes like 3 blind mice, there they go, 3 blind mice in a row.
It's insane, and that's like, I feel like that has charm to it, but like this is like perfect. It's like the song's perfect throughout. In this movie, I think they do the sound terrible in this movie, but I think the music that they kind of take the Chris Cornell theme and mix it with the Bond theme, and like you get orchestratic versions of it throughout the movie. We've had that in a couple of them, but it really stuck out for me in this one. I think because I've listened to the song a million times.
Yeah, I would still say like, I think the
Madonna.
No, yeah. I'm gonna wait. No. I think that I think Live and Let Die is a better song. Mm-hmm. I think The World's Not Enough's a better song.
World's Not Enough's a good one too.
I think Goldeneye's a better song. I think Living Daylights is a better song. I
remember liking Living Daylights.
I also think the Automatic Secret Service theme is way better.
I have to listen to that. I don't remember.
That's one of the
down
do 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 do. Yeah. I also like the Diamonds Are Forever theme a lot. As shitty as that movie is, you know, but that bass goes. They have like the acapella goes. Boom, 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 Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah. I literally just have to listen to like Mark sing a bar, play a riff to remember all the songs.
All slap is Diamonds Are Forever.
That is a good one, and this one just sticks with me. And Skyfall is gonna.
Oh, Skyfall's a great song. No Time to Die is a great song. Mm-hmm. No Time to Die is a great song too.
Is that this? Oh, Billy. Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah, and Craig could have had like a string of some of the best Bond songs. They would have just fucking grabbed Radiohead Spectre, but they're fucking.
Oh my god, they're so dumb.
I guess they don't sound like incels. Anyway, fucking back to this fucking this 2006 Bourne movie. Mr. White shows up and they're in this like what? They're this like military group, this terrorist organization, some shit.
I'm guessing it's like a separatist group or something.
Yeah, and we also get revealed Lashif, and they're talking about how they're gonna do something with the stock market, and they're also gonna.
I can explain it quick.
Cool.
So they are taking 150. It's kind of like embezzlement almost. They're taking 150 million from this group, and he is going to invest it in shorting the airline industry that is making a new like super. It's a passenger plane, but it's like a super Airbus kind of. It's just like a triple decker plane. And the idea is he's going to bomb the reveal of this prototype, and it's going to tank the stock market for that particular company. And because he shorted it, he's going to make all the money, much like GameStop. He did it before with 9/11, and he's trying to do it again.
Wait, so they're saying Le Chiffre is behind 9/11?
Yeah. Well, behind funding terrorism afterwards. Like, he was in on it. M says it, like, halfway through.
I don't think I like that.
It's kind of weird that it refers to real-world events, but...
I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't
When did the movie come out?
2006. I don't like that.
5 years after? Woo. Sheesh.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, something weird. A little too soon for 9/11.
It's not even the fact that
references.
it's too soon. It's more of just like, it's so contrived. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, and this guy, how can we make him bad? Oh, he was part of 9/11.
Well, no, I don't think. Well, did you think he was bad besides that? Because you clearly missed that fact, and you still thought he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they didn't.
He's bleeding blood out of his eye. Yeah. He's a bad dude.
And he has a
big scar on his face.
Military.
And he's played by Mads. He's also played by Mads Mikkelsen. He's a bad guy.
Yeah. I thought it was a little weird and tasteless.
Yeah.
But
that's like maybe you asked me, do you think this henchman's bad? Oh, you mean the guy with the burned fucking face? Yeah. He's probably a bad dude.
Good casting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's makeup.
Yeah, it probably is makeup. But anyway, we go to the Madagascar, and Bond and this other CW model is they're at this snake versus fucking mongoose battle, and the guy's an idiot and puts his finger on his ear so he can. So the guy that they're trying to chase knows that that guy's a British secret agent. Yeah. He doesn't have the fucking the intelligence to start scratching his ear and go, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Yeah, he's as nervous as Bond was when he killed that guy.
He actually is nervous. Yeah. Then we have the moment that I was looking forward to all week to get to here.
Yeah.
And then it was underwhelming.
Yeah, I very much remember this chase being a super fast cut, and intriguing the whole time. But it was all right.
Yeah. There was too many moments where me and Nick were like, why wouldn't he just do that?
Yeah, there's so Bond's chasing this guy up a construction site. And they end up on like a crane, and he really only has like one or two ways he could get down. So Bond just like keeps chasing him instead of just like waiting.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you want to get down? All right, we'll come down the crane, and we'll
yeah.
I'll be waiting."
It's pretty weird.
Yeah,
and it's I don't know.
Yeah, we have a fucking bulldozer with a bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this does not hold up from when I was 12 years old.
No, yeah. I do think I kind of like the parkour. I like that the
stunt work is incredible.
Great. Yeah.
The part that I had the biggest issue with is that there's a part where the guy jumps onto a building and then he rolls and keeps running, and Bond stays there for about 15 seconds. He looks, he's like, well, if he made it, he misses, pulls himself up, then jumps on, then he makes a second jump. He falls onto a dumpster thing.
So he hits the higher ledge, kind of doesn't catch his footing and falls off and lands into almost like an AC unit. It's like ductwork.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes, full body dent in it. It's not a fucking pillow.
Yeah, and then he just looks up, and all of a sudden that guy was just right there. It's like, no, the guy had like a 30-second
30-second lead. And bro, you just
crashed.
Yeah.
He just Spider-Man 2'd.
Yeah.
And that's put down Peter Parker. Took down Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A superhero. And this is a guy.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's very dumb. I think they
Yeah.
could have had him fall, be hurt, and like look around, and then see that, oh, that guy has a 30-second lead on me now, so he has to think of a way to get down sooner, and then just do it that way instead of just following him and not doing parkour. Because there's some stuff that's like shot for comedy, like the guy like parkours through a little tiny window, and then Bond just runs through the drywall.
Yeah, I also just like how it's always like this was supposed like everyone on the top of them like, oh, this is the Bond that wasn't a superhero. This Bond is a superhero.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes in and the dude's invincible.
This is his first action set piece. He fucking breaks his spine and gets up and starts running.
Yeah,
and then he fucking crashes through a fucking wall. And it's like I think this whole myth that Daniel Craig is the serious, realistic grit Bond is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Lazenby is everything that everyone says that Craig is.
Yeah.
He has the sensitivity. He has the grit with his action sequences. He's brutal, but he also has that regret. He has it all. He has everything that everyone says that Craig has, but he's in a better movie.
But he only got one movie is the problem.
Yeah.
And it's like I will say I feel like they get better with his mortality later on because he starts to like this guy sweats. We got a sweater and a bleeder. Like he takes some hits, and that I will say that's something that I look for in all these movies, and they definitely hit that checkbox. But like this one scene, I'm like, dude. Also later, there's another scene where he goes into cardiac arrest, and I'm like,
yeah,
this is a little much.
I think that most of the action set pieces in this movie aren't very good. Other than this, I think this one has the best. Like, oh, this is the best idea.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool, and I like that it shows that he's like reckless because he's green in the role.
Yeah,
when he goes, the whole right after the construction scene, they go to the not assembly. What's the word? Embassy, and I love that whole part.
Yeah,
I think
that part's
one's really great, and I like M's like, dude, yeah, you can kill people. Don't just kill people. You don't get to do whatever you want now.
Yeah,
big baby man.
Yeah, I like that, but I like that whole aspect. But like I was saying, I think that people act like this is like a serious gritty movie, but it's like no, this is just as silly as a lot of the Brosnan shit that people say is too silly. Like,
I should have written down specific examples for Brosnan when I thought it was too silly, but this definitely has parts that
I think it's because of the tone difference, because this one's was trying to have this dark gritty tone, being like this is a different kind of Bond, this isn't your daddy's Bond, but it's just like no, it is. Like he's
gonna try to be.
He's still invincible Superman. I don't see what you're saying that this is more humane portrayal of Bond. It's not. I think at least Brosnan would like embrace it, where it's just like, oh yeah, he's got a fucking toy car.
Yeah, I think if they did this scene more gritty, then like I think the casino grit stuff I'm fine with. I think that like him getting poisoned and all that, I'm like, okay, that's like all right. This is like real life believable stuff. And if they didn't give him the stupid secret compartment car and like there's little stuff where they could have been what they wanted it to be, but then like they still have all this stupid Superman bullshit.
Yeah.
Like God. And there's this one scene that just you want to say
which one?
The somersault.
Oh, he somersaults and do like an action man pose as he rolls into it. Like, why?
Mark instantly was baffled by the framing of it.
Yeah, and then like he goes in, he fights the guy, and he beats the embassy guy up.
Yeah, he beats the ambassador up.
Yeah, and then he fucking grabs this guy, and it's a big shootout, and it's fine. But I'm already kind of taken out of the movie because we've been kind of silly this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with Bond movies being gritty and realistic. Like, that's like I love From Russia with Love. I love On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I love all of GoldenEye. Most of that's gritty and dark. Mm-hmm. This is trying to be gritty and dark, but it's trying to be Batman Begins, but it's not taking it as Batman Beginsy as Batman Begins takes it. You know what I mean?
I have to watch it again because is there no silliness in it?
The silliness is like the thing is that they balance silly and real the whole time. And I think this movie's trying to do that, but it's not doing it as successfully because it's not directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's also like it makes more sense with that one because it's like At the end of the day, Batman's still a superhero.
Yeah.
He's still in a fucking costume dressed up as a bat.
Yeah.
So it's fine, but this is like, no, this is a gritty secret agent. This is like Jason Bourne. It's like, no, it's not. He just ran through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
He just broke his back and got up. He shook his head. He literally goes, ugh, and gets up and starts chasing the guy again.
It so simply could have been more humanistic.
Yeah.
And it would have been so much better.
Yeah. I don't care how much blood you put on the fucking guy. It's not gonna make up for the fact that he broke his fucking spine.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the other side of that. Please make him bloody and sweaty and dirty.
Yeah.
It will make it better for me.
And then Bond kills the guy who, the guy who was chasing, and he blows up the embassy. It's a good scene because the guy's like, just listen to me, and Bond drops the gun, but he has the other gun in his back pocket, shoots the guy, blows up the thing, takes the backpack, finds out there's an explosive, and there's a cell phone in there, and it says ellipses. What's that gonna mean? We're gonna find out later.
It's gonna be dumb as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
There's like two things with the stupid phone shit where I'm like, man, come on. Like, it's this and then the code. But that's only because I think I remembered it from the book, but it's better. Somewhere else has done this better. Yeah. And I thought it was this movie, but it's not.
Yeah, we cut to a perfume commercial real quick.
Yep.
A mid-2000s perfume commercial.
And then we get some of the worst CG since
Die Another Day.
Yeah, I don't even know what to compare this to. It's so out of place. It's so dumb.
Yeah, dude, Phantom Menace looks better than that.
It's she's just opening the door to go in a boat.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just, like, I don't know, go somewhere with water for your boat scene? Maybe. Like, I'm guessing this is shot in a sound booth or something. Or
why not just make it take place at night?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's already dusk. They're like, we'll shoot it at the golden hour and CG the golden hour. The easiest time to shoot anything, we'll CG it in.
Yeah. Whatever. We get Lashif playing poker, and you see him crying blood, and he wins. It's giving you a hint as bluffing and all that other shit. It shows that he's a good poker player. That's really all that really is necessary in this moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he reads out the statistics of his hand versus the range of what his opponent could have.
Mm-hmm.
And then he is brought into his office to see the news that Bond has killed what ends up being his courier, and is
not too happy about it.
Does it say Bond? No. It says MI6, right?
Yeah.
So he now has ID that, even not knowing Bond's name, the guy who looks just like Bond, because it's Bond, is an MI6 agent, which will come into play later.
Yeah, and then we have M bitch about Bond.
She's coming out of Parliament.
Yeah, and she's just like, if an agent back in the day would have held it, but had the decency to defect. God, I miss the Cold War, and it just. I love Judi Dench's M, but I don't know. She feels off in this one.
Yeah, I feel like
she feels off in the last two.
Ones. Yeah, well, I think.
Like, I feel like in GoldenEye she was perfect.
A good movie, so
like, GoldenEye she was perfect. Tomorrow Never Dies she was all right. It wasn't enough. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Die Another Day she was dog shit.
Yeah, I think it's because Die Another Day was just bad all around.
And this one, I feel like it just still doesn't.
Yeah,
work.
I don't think it's there though. I do think.
I don't think her and Craig have any chemistry right now. I know they do.
I think towards the end of this movie it starts to work for me. But these first couple scenes, I'm like, what am I? It makes it seem so. I believe her relationship with Bond in the old ones because he's been Bond for like 30 years, and she's like, oh well, you're Bond, so I guess I'm the new one here, but I'm your boss at the end of the day. Yeah. And in this one, it almost feels like she wants that same rapport where it's been a guy who's worked there forever, but he's supposed to be brand new into the 00 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why she would care so much about him. I'm like, I don't really, it doesn't click with me yet.
Neither for me.
And like you said, I know it will later.
Yeah. M shows up to her house and Bond's in there, and he's doing like research.
Yeah.
And she's just like, you better have a good reason to do this. And he's like, sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
We have him being naive and strong-headed, and which is the stuff I like about this movie, is that Bond is like, he ain't yet where he is in Dr. No or From Russia with Love or whatever. He's not like yet that guy. and he does make mistakes.
Yeah, in that like I really like that stuff a lot. But it's like I feel like M's performance almost takes away those.
Yeah,
And I don't know if it's because it's her, which
I think it's the both of them. They don't have any chemistry in these scenes.
yeah, and like I'm wondering if I felt this way the first time I watched it, not having seen her with other people, or if it's just like all up, just kind of weird because there's no chemistry there because he just has to stare in the camera all the time, which we've gotten a couple so far where he just dead-eye stares in the camera, and there are scenes where he literally just shots where he literally just stares in the camera and doesn't say anything. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like Mark kind of mentioned that some people say it's like, oh, he's a heartless killer guy. But then it's like, he's like sitting in the shower with a girl crying. And like, I don't think you kind of have to pick one or the other.
Yeah, well, it's because like they're trying to do a thing where it's like, oh, he's actually 3-dimensional. But it's like, yeah, Connery did that. You want to know how he did that? By being 3-dimensional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he just did it.
Yeah, he does. He comes off as like cardboard.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this, I'm like,
Yeah, like I don't get the arrogant. Like in the script, it's telling you that he's arrogant and that he's naive and he's making mistakes and he doesn't feel like they're his fault and he's headstrong. But the way that Craig plays it, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
If it and like I said, like her reprimanding him, it doesn't feel like a good example is when like Connery and Dr. No is he's sitting there and he's just like, and like M chews him out for like that last mission you did it was like fucked up, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I told you about these Berettas. You used this and jammed up on you. You ended up in fucking 6 months in ICU. What the fuck, Bond? And Bond's just like looking down, like, oh, I know, all right, yeah, you're right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And this one is like, she's like, you blew up an embassy. He's just like, yeah, well, one less bombers and blah, blah, blah. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, and then like in again that scene with M where M chews Bond out about the Beretta, and then Bond tries to leave with it under the cigar box, and it's like they have this little funny scene together, and it's like, oh, he's like, put the gun back.
Yeah.
He's like, you're not leaving with that, and it's like, oh, okay. Like I can kind of see that. And
yeah, and then he does the arrogant Bond thing where he pushes it toward him.
Yeah,
and it's funnier. Then anyway, Bond goes to the Bahamas and he's driving around
because he saw that the text that the guy he had just chased down and killed at the embassy originated from the Bahamas. That's why he was in M's office or in her house using her computer to look that up.
Mm-hmm. And he's walking around. He meets Goldfinger.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if they're a reference to who are those? The two gymnast girls.
Oh, Bambi and Thumper.
Yeah,
the girls just walked by. Probably.
Yeah,
just like stupid shit this movie's doing.
Throw all the stupid little references in at the beginning.
Yeah, which I would be fine with if this was actually going to be a thing where it was like, this is still a part of the same series. It's a prequel.
Yeah,
but it isn't. It's not.
I think you would have hated it even more if it was that. I obviously all the times I've seen this movie, I hadn't seen Goldfinger before, so I had never caught that, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that little tiny Easter egg. Like, I'm glad the license plate doesn't say like GLDFIG.
Yeah, it doesn't say Odd Job.
Yeah, that would have been too much.
Yeah,
and like later on. There's another thing that Mark hates that we'll talk about when we get there, but talks about getting the
things.
Aston Martin.
Yeah.
So we're almost there though. So
yeah, Bond. It's a Goldfinger thinks that Bond is a valet and gives him the keys. Bond grabs his golden car. Fucking Jesus Christ!
Hold for applause.
He backs up and it causes a little bit. He crashes the car. And so it causes a ruckus, and so the security go out to get it so he can take control of the security thing.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's there, he figures out, what's the guy's name that he's looking for?
Oh, I don't remember his name. I think it starts with an F.
Yeah, I don't know.
He is the kind of the middleman who he's getting the people who are willing to blow up the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just the middleman manager.
Yeah, he's the guy with the Aston Martin.
Yeah, I think he owns the hotel. I think they kind of alluded to that, but
he might.
But
I don't know.
He gambles there.
He does gamble there. Anyway, we yeah.
And just another little thing too. Bond goes to the security room to check the security cameras for when the text was sent. And it's like, how did he know he was outside when he received the text? Like, what? I don't get it.
Yeah. Here's another problem. The next scene is Bond goes to a receptionist and asks who's the guy who owns a certain car because he thinks he nicked it.
Yeah.
And she tells him who it is. And then he's like, well, where can I find him? She's like, if he doesn't know us, I probably wouldn't go tell him. He's not the guy who likes to have good and bad news. Like, but if I felt compelled to do it, like,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then she looks at him. She's like, oh, I'm seduced now.
Yeah.
Like, he usually plays here, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, no, I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Craig is handsome, but he ain't that handsome.
Yeah, and that's like, they also haven't like talked at all. It's literally like 3 sentences. I was like, maybe if there was some more like flirting or something beforehand.
Yeah.
Where he's like, damn, you look good in that haircut.
Yeah. Or he did the Connery thing where he would just start touching her. And she'd be like, oh my God, go away. Stop touching me. He goes here. He's like, thank you.
Where should I go?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Should I go down here?
Oh,
and she's like, oh my God, he plays poker.
Thank you.
Thanks. And then she has sex with him.
Leaves. Yeah. Those prayer nurses.
You know? With Connery, there's always something that makes it more believable.
Yeah, like
with Lazenby, there's always something that makes it more believable. Where it's like, oh, he goes to a building where he's the first man they've seen in like a year.
Yeah, that's like the perfect example.
Yeah,
like that is so believable of why everyone would be like, oh my God, there's a guy in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Versus this, it's just like it's not like, oh, he's a rich dude because they're
all rich dudes here.
They're renting.
They're all people that look exactly like this guy.
Goldfinger just walked by.
Yeah, but like they're all just like these weird white pasty British guys who look exactly like Daniel Craig. Like that's what. So like the idea that she'd be like, oh, well, you know, it's like no, it's like, yeah, Connie gotta fucking start beating her. Let's get information. Gotta break her arm.
Sometimes you gotta.
You know, I would have believed it was Pierce. I kind of would have believed it was Dalton.
Yeah, I'd believe it if it was Pierce. Dalton, not so much. Dalton, I'd be like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
it would be like I don't want to jump the gun with this, but I think Craig is most near Dalton as a Bond, like rather than being like a Sean Connery. Like I think people compare him to Connery more, but I think he's way closer to Dalton.
Yeah, there's no comparison between the two.
Yeah,
at all.
Especially in this movie.
Yeah,
like maybe Dalton.
Yeah, but I think Dalton has more of a romanticism about him. He also has more of like a anger in him.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he does seem angry.
Whereas Dalton's always just like, I mean, Craig's like he's a smug asshole.
Yeah.
Whereas with Dalton, like he'll fucking, he's just like, fuck it, I'm so fucking mad about everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this bucket balloon.
It's like he's the asshole Bond.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I'm glad that just came to me because I think that's actually like perfect. Like when he's getting tortured later, I fucking love it. But I'm like, it's kind of weird. But he's an asshole.
Yeah, but the thing is that the movies aren't making him an asshole. He's just coming off as an asshole.
I think it's the way he's acting. Well, it's like
because the whole thing is that he's supposed to be the, like I said, he like in this one he's supposed to be the Lazenby, like
he's supposed to be
the
like
romantic.
Is he supposed to be the romantic?
Yeah, because you're supposed to really buy that romance between him and Vesper, and you don't.
Yeah, I almost do, but I really like. Once we got to the submarine, I almost did.
Yeah, but then once he had that little wrinkle, like that her ex-boyfriend is still alive, I was not by. I did not buy it.
I think they should have not done that.
Yeah, it could have been. It would have been fine if it was somebody. If it was somebody else.
I think they should have. No, I don't even think they should have had that. I think they should have, like, in the submarine scene where they're separated, she breaks and is like, "Okay, I will do this to save Bond." Or Bond's like, no, we'll both die for the job. Like that's our job. And it just goes from there. Instead of having this like weird shit with that, like, who gives a fuck? It's literally it's one line in the movie.
It's,
Why
you know
did
what
you put it in there?
Have you ever seen Psycho?
No, I haven't. The Bates. That's a Bates, right?
Yeah. Do you know the twist?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna spoil the twist on the show.
Okay.
But the thing about Psycho is that there's a perfect ending where they get the killer, but then after that, and then there's like a scene in between, and then they have the perfect ending.
Mm-hmm.
If you cut out that scene in between, it's a perfect movie. There's like nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But there's a scene in between where you have like these 4 people in a room, and they're explaining the movie in detail. Where they're like, so does it mean that the killer was this? And they're like, not necessarily. Maybe because in this psychologically this and this and this and this, and it goes on for like fucking 5 minutes, and you're just like, why? Why are you adding this? Why are we doing that? Like, we got it. And
this even has one of those scenes.
That's what it is. That's
like,
what
I'm telling you, what I'm saying is, I'll buy you in. Like, why even have the other fucking scene? Like,
yeah,
just say that line if you want to do that, or let the audience understand what you're saying, because we already did.
Yeah. Well, it's also like the thing is like when they just say like, oh well, yeah, Vesper had a boyfriend and blah blah blah, and she was gonna blah blah blah, and it's like, fuck off.
Yeah, cool. So they plant some things throughout, because she has a necklace that Bond has like researched that it's like a love token type thing, and I'm like, okay, like, yeah. What is happening? Like, just have her be single.
Yeah. Do you see like people who are listening to the show? Do you see what I mean? How this is like movie is? It's so hard to talk about on a scene by scene basis, because it's like, everything is fucked up throughout the long term.
Yeah. It's almost good that everything in the movie like continues throughout the movie, but when a fucking little thing is fucked up, it just carries throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like, God, just cut the boyfriend thing out. Just have them fall in love.
No, I don't mind the boyfriend thing.
I think it's dumb.
Well, I know. Hear me out.
Okay.
I think the boyfriend thing is fine in the initial way they introduced it, where Bond is just like, he's a lucky man, and then then she's just like, and then it insinuates that he's dead.
Yeah. That's
all you needed. That's all you needed.
Yeah.
And that would have been good, because it would have been something where like Bond can say something like, I lost someone myself, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And that's something they bond over real quickly. It's like an unspoken thing where it's like
bonding
we both
with Bond.
Yeah. That's how they start bonding with Bond. It's like an unspoken. So then it becomes like an unspoken thing of like they both have this pain that they both can understand, and they can both heal each other, and then you can buy it easily. But then it's just like, oh, she was betraying him the whole time. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's
because of her boyfriend.
It's so dumb.
So she's been macking it. Oh, she's this fucking guy. This guy's probably getting his fucking nuts cut off. Yeah. What happened to him?
It doesn't explain what happened to him at all, and I still think the ending where she ends up killing herself is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much wrong with the character, and oh my God, it's going to carry through 5 movies. Oh my God.
And not to spoil anything, but the boyfriend is the crux of Quantum of Solace, and it's
okay, cool.
Fucking stupid.
Okay, so that's terrible. Oof. This will be interesting. I'm excited for next week. I almost wish I could just watch it today. I know it's terrible, and I'm not looking forward to it.
You see what I mean?
But
go back 48 minutes in this podcast.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Where it's like this movie is so it becomes dependent on the second one.
Yeah, dude. Because then that boyfriend shit's so stupid. I literally why. I get, we'll plant the seeds that there's a boyfriend, and then it'll be in the next movie. Yeah. But man,
Bond ain't about planting seeds.
Yeah, and it's terrible it's one of the major problems with this movie.
You know what?
They should have brought it up more.
You know what? When planting seeds works, hey there's a guy with a cat. His name's Blofeld.
Yeah.
Hey, you know that guy with a cat?
Or,
there he is.
Or like in this one where they go, oh hey, Mr. White.
Yeah.
We're cooking.
Yeah. It's like this isn't the fucking MCU. You know what I mean?
It could have been.
Like, Bond doesn't need to be this intricate fucking thing where everything lines back up. They're silly movies.
Do you know if this was like planned? The next one was planned, or that they were like, oh, we should explain the boyfriend, I guess.
The next one,
I hope it's that.
The next one they didn't shoot with a script.
Oh, good. Because I feel like if they were like, we're gonna plan out, well, let's plan out 3 movies, and we'll plant some seeds that there's a boyfriend. If that's it, awful, terrible job.
Well, Craig wanted everything to be unified.
Yeah, and like I'm totally fine with that. Like you said, like Blofeld's a unifying character throughout them, and I think that works really well.
In this series?
No. In just like no. Don't talk about that yet. I don't want to think about that until it's right in front of me. Dr. No and everything, like just going through and just planting little seeds of Spectre throughout, and it's like, oh, this works.
Yeah.
If they were like, okay, this boyfriend is going to be a major part of the next movie, they should have leaned more into him in this one. They like,
yeah,
he's mentioned twice.
You know for a fact that if they had the rights to Blofeld at this point, they would have made Blofeld the boyfriend.
That would have been very weird. I think Mr. White should have been Blofeld at that point then. And also, I know you know what happens to him in the next movie and stuff, but I have no idea. And just from in this movie, it's like,
well, his arc goes up until he shows up again in Spectre.
Okay.
Because then you have to meet his daughter.
Okay, yeah, it should have been Blofeld. They should have.
This series sucks.
Yeah, because if Blofeld's introduced in the first scene with the like African warlords, if they had done that and then he shows up at the end, because Vespa's like, yo, Mr. White is behind this, Blofeld is behind all this, and then Bond shows up to Blofeld, that could be interesting. But it would also I'm glad it's a different character.
Yeah, because I also like that Spectre. I mean, Casino Royale is it also would have worked. It also, because in my head, Casino Royale happens in the Connor universe.
Yeah.
As well, because like if you read the book Casino Royale, it's Smersh, as you said.
Yeah.
And he even says that in Dr. No. He's like, are you friends at Smersh? Blah blah. And he's like, Smersh.
And then they never bring it up again. It's like, this was so.
They
cool.
do.
Oh,
they bring up Smersh again in From Russia with Love.
Oh, okay.
And then they stop, because then it's just like Spectre Bond is now like, oh, when Spectre's on the thing, you put me on that case, okay.
Yeah.
And then Smersh was like kind of dissolved by the end of the '60s, so it's you don't bring it in.
Like they're, I was gonna say they kind of lean away from the Cold War stuff, but they really don't.
No. But then when they lean into it, it's more of just a KGB.
Yeah, and that's true too. I guess it makes more sense because I think the average person knows about the KGB, and it's basically the same thing. So they're like, oh, just do the thing.
Yeah,
we already have MI6.
I mean, they do kind of reference them again in Living Daylights as well. He says it's an old Smersh code. Smee at Smyrna.
That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty cool. Death to spies.
Anyway,
that's stupid. Actually, the death to spy things. I left Bond live because he's a spy.
They didn't let him live. He escaped.
Well, in Casino.
Oh
yeah, that's in this fake combined universe that we've made for the original series.
Well, no, they definitely imply that a Casino Royale story happened in the original series.
That's weird.
There's too many references to Smersh, and there's too many of like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Smersh let Bond live because he was a spy, and then in Living Daylights, they're like, all spies die. Is kind of weird.
Yeah,
but I'm okay with it.
Anyway,
Back to Horse Lady.
Bond comes out of the water like Honey Rider, and he sees a horse lady who's married to the fucking guy that he's going to take the Aston Martin from.
I kind of wish he was flexing more. He kind of just looks like a dad coming out with his Honey Rider shorts on.
Yeah. Fun fact: Daniel Craig was not the first person offered the role.
Oh my God, we're gonna talk about this.
Henry Cavill was
just do it.
Henry Cavill was Martin Campbell's first choice.
Get it out of the way, Mark. Talk about.
I think he would have been better. I think he would have been better because I don't think
this for the past 3 hours. It's been like 2 weeks of this.
You know what? Because Henry Cavill doesn't take himself too seriously.
I need to. So, if you didn't know, he does a movie called Men from U.N.C.L.E., which I remember liking, which is also a British spy movie. So I think Mark might be right, but I don't want to believe him. So I have to rewatch it.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we're adding that to the end of Bonding with Bond.
Yeah. So this series is never ending.
Yeah. Also, Hugh Jackman was considered.
I don't think I would have liked that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Maybe if he didn't play Wolverine.
Yeah, maybe if he didn't.
And the other person that was offered before he became Batman was Mr. Christian Bale.
I also don't think I would have liked that, though.
I would have fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And he would have too. Because he was like, Bond is too British and he represents everything I hate about British film. So he was not having it.
He was like, I'm more of a Batman guy.
Yeah.
I love what Batman symbolizes.
It is cooler.
I think Batman's all right. Oh, I'm a rich guy who I can do whatever the fuck I want. Great. Oh, you're a bat? Cool.
Oh, I'm a fucking British secret agent. I just kill anybody I want.
Yeah,
Cool.
I do my job.
But then I also don't.
How about Mr. Wayne just joins the military? Rises up the ranks like Bond did.
Shut up.
Nah, he used money as a loophole instead of working. Fuck you, Christian Bale.
Hey, if I had to pick Batman Begins or this, I'd fucking pick fucking Batman Begins all day.
I don't remember Batman Begins that well, but I might. Ah, man. I wish this was what I remembered it as.
Yeah. Anyway, Bond is hacked into the MI6 calls M, and they're like, Bond hacked into the Bahamas, and they're like, okay, and they're like, well, he hacked into the thing using your password. Like, how the hell does he code these things?
He used your name and password.
And he finds the guy that they're looking for, and I think he traces him to Miami. No, wait, doesn't he? He's gonna go into a poker game or some shit.
Yeah, so you're a little for it because he hasn't won the car or anything yet.
Yeah.
So basically, he's drawing the connections between all the villains so far, and we're gonna get another ellipses texter, which that's when he traces that text
To Miami.
Well,
that happens later.
The girl, I don't know if she's his wife or girlfriend, but she tells him, "Oh, he's taking an all-nighter to Miami."
Oh, fuck. Before we get to that shit,
Yeah.
we have a card game where he runs into Goldfinger again, and Goldfinger's like, "Oh, you're the one who destroyed my car."
Yeah,
but he doesn't call him out on it, even though like this guy's rich, so he's probably pompous and an asshole, so he probably would have done it.
Yeah, it's dumb scene.
Yeah. Then they play cards, and we have the guy that Bond is looking for, who has the Aston Martin, and the guy ends up putting the Aston Martin on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Just for like one of those moments where it's the thing that I hate about prequels and reboots is how did this guy get the iconic thing?
Yeah,
you know,
and I totally feel that, and I kind of like it more. I don't mind this. I didn't like the Goldfinger reference. Like I thought that I was like, oh, that's I don't know. I think that's all right. Like I don't really care for that much. Like this, I think is kind of all right, and I like it. I like when it shows up in Skyfall. And this is a side note. This has nothing really to do with this movie. But in Skyfall, he has the DB5 too, and I was like, oh, that's funny. He saved it in storage this whole time. And then when Mark was like, oh, the original series and the Craig series are different, I was like, why the fuck does he have an Aston Martin? I was like, that's so stupid. And like this at least kind of makes that make more sense to me.
Yeah, but
it's only a little bit worth it.
All right, so here's how I'll rank this. I'll rank this. So there's two ways you can go about it. You can either do the Batman Begins thing where you show him how he gets the suit, even though it's unnecessary. You don't need to do any of that shit because Tim Burton's movie happened. I didn't ask a single fucking question about why I got that suit. I was like, he's a rich guy. He got the suit. I don't need to see him fucking talk to Morgan Freeman about it. But in that movie, it works because Morgan Freeman's a great actor, Christopher Nolan's a great director, and Christian Bale's a great actor. This is more on the line, and all the things in this movie are on the line of, what's your name? Han. Han what? Who's your people? Oh, I don't have any people. Huh. Han. Solo. That's what this is on the line of.
Yeah. I think that one is offensive. I think this is just an additional bet on a table. And his name's Demetrius, by the way.
Demetrius, okay. Well, I don't know if it's a bet on the table because they do this thing. You can have this. It's my Aston Martin. And it zooms in and it has a little keychain of the car, of the iconic car.
Oh, you should look up what a Tesla key looks like. It's like a little Hot Wheels of a Tesla.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Mark's gonna hate this.
Yeah, Bond wins the car and he pulls up with the car, but it's like, it's his, not Demetrius's, and Demetrius's wife's like, oh, I'm sorry, blah blah blah, and Bond's like, how we go back to my place, and she's like, is it far? And he's like, not too far. Gets in the car, they do a circle, it gives it back to the valet, and then he's staying at the hotel. Good comedy.
I don't think that's like the worst scene ever.
It's not.
Yeah, I think it could have been done better, but
they should have saved it for Vesper. More of a cute
that would have. Well, no. So, I think that is needed for this, so you can kind of believe their weird little relationship thing. Because I do like after when, spoiler alert, this woman ends up being killed. And Bond's like, fuck, like that's my fault. Mm-hmm. And M's like, oh yeah, no, your body count just keeps going up, huh? Mm-hmm. He's like, please stop talking about this.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to do that one.
Yeah. So anyway, she goes in, they have sex, and she gets an ellipses. No, she
gets a text. Well, she gets a call from her husband saying, hey, I'm overnighting to Miami.
Mm-hmm. And Bond, instead of having sex with her fully, he goes to Miami.
He buys her champagne
and caviar.
He
goes to Miami, and he follows the guy, I guess,
to the museum exhibit of the bodies without flesh. It's like the veins and bones and stuff.
Yeah, didn't you say you went there or some shit?
Yeah, it was at the Museum of Science in Boston.
The Body Work show?
Yeah. Body World. I just realized that there's a big sign for it in the movie. That's interesting product placement. I wonder if this was just going on and they're like, oh, we'll use this as the thing, or if
maybe they sponsored it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
Either way,
why isn't it the Lord of the Rings film exhibit?
Yeah. Demetrius leaves a chip on a table, I think, right?
He leaves, so he does baggage check and leaves a duffel bag there, and then he leaves the coat check tag to get that bag on a poker table.
Mm-hmm. Which I like.
Yeah, and then he texts ellipses to somebody. Wait, is that right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the man's about to die.
Yep.
Bond and him catch wind of each other, and then Demetrius holds a knife to Bond, but Bond grabs his hand. He starts pushing it towards them. They have this thing, and then Demetrius grabs the back of Bond's head, even though it's stupid because he should need more leverage with the hand.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't care. I've gone past the point of caring in this movie. And Bond, but then while they're staring at each other, Bond goes Dave does the "What's up, bro?" Head nod, and Demetrius looks behind who's he looking at? And then Bond stabs him.
Yeah,
it
was so stupid.
Fucking kidding me?
I don't just have it be a fucking arm wrestling match, and Bond just wins it.
Yeah,
it just make him look strong,
and then have him make a quip at the end, but he doesn't.
Oh yeah, he just walks away.
Yeah,
it's a wasted scene. Could have been a lot better,
yeah.
I think.
We had a couple of them, right? When we were doing Connery one-liners. What was it?
I forget.
Don't mind him. He's something went under his skin or some shit. I don't remember.
Yours was better. Mine was something about oh, this one's still got the flesh on it, or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
But he steals his phone after he's killed him and sees that there is a text message sent that says ellipses, and the poker chip coat check thing is gone along with the bag.
Mm-hmm. But there's some good espionage here when he calls the number and he sees the guy answer the phone and then follows that guy to the airport.
And he does it again at the end of the movie too. The only espionage, and they do it twill.
Mm-hmm. Not as good as ripping your piece of your hair out and putting it on a door, but
genius.
Who am I to judge? Yeah. Bond goes to the airport, and this guy pretty much catches him almost immediately. They have a chase, and then it sucks.
Yeah, this one is terrible.
This sucks.
In looking back at this movie, I thought this was closer to that first action scene. I think they were properly distanced, but the stuff between them doesn't really.
It's not interesting at all.
Yeah, it was completely.
Nothing that happened in between the parkour and this was interesting.
I just realized that the guy who owns Virgin is an extra. Russell. I can't
Russell
remember his name.
Brand, yeah.
No, I forget his name, but it was totally him, and I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah,
he was in the security line next to our tail.
That's cool. Fun fact, going back to Batman, you know that there's a guy in Congress, I think, or in the Senate that is in, I think, every Batman movie from Batman Forever up until now.
That's sick. Is he in the Robert Pattinson?
I think he might be.
Oh, I hope so.
I know he's in the actual Senate scene in Batman v Superman.
Oh, that's sick.
And he's the guy that is like, we don't take orders from thugs like you. And Joker grabs him like, you remind me of my father. I hate my father. That's him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's in Batman Forever.
My
father was a gamer. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think he might have been in Batman Returns too, but I'm not sure. I don't remember.
That's so sick.
I know I know for a fact that he's in Batman Forever though.
But yeah,
Batman and Robin.
This action scene, bad,
awful.
We find out that the ellipses text that they've shown full frame 4 times,
48 times. Yep.
It's the door code to get into the security area of the airport, which makes 0 sense why the first guy in Madagascar got the text.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Dumb.
Hey, I'm going to text you the door code days before you get there.
And he calls MI6 and he's like, there's someone going to blow up a bomb. But which is, I feel like this is a way they shoehorned in.
To be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
This is what I mean, because this was like the Connery, Lazenby, or even the Moore era. He would have just done it. He wouldn't
have called in.
Yeah, because he wouldn't have wanted to walk his fucking cell phones.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
I'm getting stressed out right now.
Yeah, it's like you said, cell phones are. Yeah. They're too important in life now.
Yeah.
And they're too powerful.
Yeah. The other thing that sucks about this sequence is that it's directed by Martin Campbell, the great Martin Campbell, who directed GoldenEye. And the idea that this is his car chase sequence in the film, coming off of his fucking tank sequence in fucking Russia and GoldenEye, this is the pales completely in comparison to it.
I personally thought the tank one was on the line of camp for me. This is over it. I think it's very realistic that it's just a tanker that he's stealing, but then it goes straight through a luggage cart thing and 40 feet later smashes through the middle of a bus. I'm like, what is why is all this shit lined up for him to hit?
And then Bond does a somersault into the tanker.
Yeah. Well, he jumps off of... Are you talking about when he jumps on it or jumps off?
Jumps off. He jumps into the tanker.
Do
you not remember that?
Yes,
where he just
does
a somersault and he goes into the passenger seat conveniently?
Yeah. He jumps into... The windshield's gone and he's on top of the car and he rolls into the front by holding onto the top of it. And it's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think it could have been done a little different.
I hate it. I genuinely hate it. I hate this sequence.
I don't know if I like this or the first one least.
The first one I think is better because it has a better payoff. This has a shit payoff.
Oh, dude, I love the payoff of this one. Oh, no, the first one has a better payoff. I love the payoff of him just staring at the guy, and then he blows up, and he just keeps staring at him.
I would have enjoyed it if he wasn't doing it the whole fucking movie.
Yeah. If it didn't set up that this guy's crazy and just stares at shit all the time, it would have been a little better.
Yeah.
But I really like that a lot.
Yeah, he hooks like a bomb, detonator to him or something. What does he do?
It's a keychain. So one of the cool things that I like, that again doesn't make sense, the first guy who was text ellipses just had a pipe bomb in his backpack, he's not going to get through post 9/11 security with a pipe bomb in a backpack. This guy, he puts his duffel bag on the cart, and you're like, oh, the bomb's in there. He's going to get caught. And he walks through the security checkpoint, and it's a metal detector one. And they go, oh, hey, the alarm went off. And he just holds up his keychain, and the bomb is on the keychain. And they go, oh, yeah, whatever. It's just keys. And then he gets through security. So, like, it was like a red herring for the duffel bag, which I was like, okay, I'm all right with that. But it's, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Yeah,
because you only need a small explosion because he planned on hijacking a jet fuel tanker. So pretty high explosive stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Bond blows the man up. Well, the guy blows himself up because he puts the keychain on the guy.
Yeah, he clipped it onto his back while they were in the car wrestling.
Yeah, and Bond watches him die cold-bloodedly, but like I said, he's been doing that the whole fucking movie, so it doesn't work. You haven't had your 6. We then have a scene where Lashif finds out about that, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah,
because he's already put the money up to go play poker.
Yeah, he put that $150 million that he had invested in shorting that plane company because their plane didn't blow up, their stock didn't go down, so his short isn't going to go through. So he's going to lose all that money now. So he is a little worried.
Mm-hmm. He needs to win that fucking Casino Royale.
Yep.
Then we find out the horse girl is dead. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel anything because it wasn't built up enough.
Yep.
Bond is going to be heading to France to do this poker game and beat Lashif.
But M goes, I don't trust you anymore. I'm going to put a dog tracker device in you.
Yep.
So when you get lost, somebody can scan you and tell me where you are.
We then meet Vesper Lynn on a train. I have mixed opinions on Vesper. I think she's good conceptually. I think Eva Green's given a pretty good performance. I think the script is failing her.
Yeah.
Because it's written very inconsistently, and she'll go from having like a rapport, like a goofy, like we're friends, joking rapport with Bond to a I hate you, your guts, you're so arrogant, within like the same scene, without there being any provocation to do so.
And then she gets heart eyes, and now they're in love again.
Yeah,
it's very weird.
Yeah, I think she says also that has one of my lines that I hate, where she goes like, "Oh, the money's all there." He's like, "Every penny of it." And it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then they do that stupid mid-2000s things where we're like, oh, we're going to deconstruct our characters. You wear this, blah, blah, blah. You wear that suit because you went from Oxford, but you hate it because you grew up in poor, and you're also an orphan the way you reacted to my saying this word. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I hate this deconstruction of character shit unless you're doing it in a fucking good way.
Yeah.
If you're doing it in the Christopher Nolan fucking Dark Knight interrogation scene way where Joker's like, you see, the problem with your character is what's good about my character, and the problem with my character is what's good about your character. When you do that stuff, it's cool. But when you do it where it's just these two jackasses sitting in front of each other fucking just being quippy, it's like, it sucks. This is some fucking MCU bullshit.
I'm okay with Bond doing it. Because, like, your example during it was Sherlock Holmes, which is the perfect person to be like, okay, I have 2 seconds to look over you. Okay, I know literally everything about you. There's cat hair on your jacket. You're
obviously Catwoman.
You have a tan line where your wedding ring used to be. Like, your right arm's stronger than your left arm, so clearly you play tennis. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and I'm fine with that because that's the universe. But
I think it works with Sherlock Holmes. It doesn't work with Bond.
Exactly. Like, Bond, I think, should be observant to get basic stuff. He shouldn't be like, you're an orphan.
Yeah,
because.
I
talked about your mom and dad in a mean way and you didn't react.
Yeah.
Stupid orphan.
Yeah.
Even though,
he's an orphan.
And orphans at one point had a mom and dad usually.
Yeah.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, I feel like the relationship does. I don't buy it like a good example of a relationship that you instantly buy is Bond and Tracy. Mm-hmm. You don't buy this at all.
Yeah. It's especially now. Right now, it just feels like Another example of the I can't remember what I was about to say about it. The M has warned me that you are gonna try to sleep with me.
Oh,
my guard is all the way up.
Miranda Frost.
Yes. Yeah. It's like I get those vibes from this conversation. Like, we're not gonna do this, even though you're gonna try really hard to. But then I don't know. I don't like it.
Me neither. Which is so strange because I used to think that she was like my second or third favorite Bond girl. I don't know what I was fucking thinking back in the day. Maybe because the movies kept telling me she was so good. I don't know. But I don't see this. I also just don't see this as a girl that Bond is going to pine over for fucking decades.
Yeah. That's the weirdest thing that I'm excited to kind of deconstruct as we watch them. It's like, I don't really get why you're this in love with her, but okay.
Mm-hmm. We also have like thing where he tries to do a Connery thing where him and her are talking in a car, and she's just like, "Don't try to sleep with me, Bond." He's like, "Don't worry, you're not my type." And she like, and then he looks out the window and goes, "Single," which is one of the worst directed things I've ever seen in a Bond movie. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know if it's Craig being like, I can't be Connery. I can't be too like jovial and fun, because she's all right. So like the way they do it is she looks at him. She goes like, "What do you mean?" He's looking at her. Single. Like he's rushing through the lines. He's like he literally goes, "Don't worry, you're not my type." Single. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck is that? If it was a Connery moment or a Prius moment or a Lazenby moment, it probably would have been something like this. She would have been like, "Oh, don't worry, you're not my type." And then she would have looked at him, and he would have looked back, and would have looked up and down. Single. And then he would have the wah, wah, wah,
I don't want the dumbass sound effects, but I also think that it should have been delivered a little slower paced.
Yeah.
But I don't need a harmonica in it. I don't need a
well, because you have Sheriff J.J. Pepper driving the car, and he's like, "That's goddamn right. Let's check out my wife." I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, could have been better. I also think that car scene, Bond it almost looks like he was sick on the day of taping or something. It's like he's weirdly lit and doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And it just ruins the scene even more for me.
Bond, they go to the hotel, and then like after they had discussed like all their like fake identity bullshit, and he goes up there and says, "Mr. Bond," and she's like, "He knows something about you now that you're arrogant," and he's just like, "He already knows it's me. I don't fucking care."
Yeah, he saw me. Don't worry.
Yeah. And then she's just like, "Oh, I'm so sick of you already, blah, blah, blah." And it's just like, oh, God, shut up.
Yeah, we're going to have separate bedrooms. And then we get the car.
Yeah,
sick car.
He goes into his Aston Martin, and it has a bunch of fucking gadget shit in it. Like, it doesn't have gadget shit, but it has, like, it
has secret drawers.
Yeah, when, like, you have it be in the glove box.
Yeah.
And under the seat.
So I would love if it was a gadget car, but there's no Q branch. Craig didn't want gadgets, so why we got gadgets?
And you know what's so fucked up? It's so easy to have put a Q in there when he's getting the heart thing.
They already have, like, that would be the scene to have Q do something. It's dumb. It's super dumb. Dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mark said, the gun should have just been in the glove box, and then, like, maybe in the trunk there's an advanced first aid kit because he's a field agent.
It could just be under the seat. Like, you lift the seat up.
No, I think it's too gadgety that he just has all these serums and defibrillators. Like, I want it to just be like a full field pack that has everything in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he lifts the seat up, and then there's like a box, and he just takes it out, and he can take everything out of it.
Yeah. No, I'm like, I don't want it to be compact. I want it to be an annoying, like, Pelican case that he's like, I gotta get the right stuff out of here. It's not gonna magically have the three things I need perfectly in order.
I like that.
Like, if we're gonna go this route with it, like, that's what I want more than because this is one of the things, like, earlier on where Q's like, hey, you have this, and this. Let's see where in the movie you're gonna use them. In this, it's like he opens it up and he has his gun, and then a very specific first aid kit. I know why you're pausing it.
Yep. So we meet Mathis, and Mathis is talking about this guy was gonna fuck Bond over. He gets the guy arrested. Whatever.
Yep.
Mathis is on his side. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, he goes, we thought it would be cheaper to buy him out and bribe him, but it was actually cheaper to just show his competitor that he was being bribed. So now he's being arrested, so you don't have to worry about him. So,
Yeah.
oh, cool. I kind of like that, but
Yeah, the guy Mathis is okay. Then we have her getting ready for Vesper's getting ready in her hotel bathroom, but Bond brings her a dress, and she's just like, "You expected me to wear that?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I want you to walk over to me, blah blah
kiss
blah."
my neck.
So everyone will be more fixated
Distracted.
on your tits than your fucking on their
He
cards.
doesn't say that.
He doesn't, but I don't care. I'm angry. Bond.
So is she.
Yeah, Bond goes into his room and he sees a dinner jacket, and he's like, "I already have a dinner jacket," and she's like, "There are dinner jackets and there are dinner jackets, blah blah blah," and he puts it on. It's the tuxedo, and it does the doo 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 doo, and she's looking very approvingly, and he's looking at himself. He even looks into the camera, and it's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Bond now." I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's just
I don't like it.
how Bond got his tuxedo. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to know that. It's a tuxedo. We all have to wear one eventually. You're saying he's never been to a fucking wedding? Get the fuck out of here.
And it's like he looked fine earlier. Like he's already been wearing suits throughout the movie. I don't care about this one any more than any of the other ones.
Yeah, it's just he also doesn't look that great in the tuxedo, to be fair.
Oh yeah, I think bow ties are dumb. In like this scene, it looks dumb.
Yeah.
I think there are very few people who can actually pull off.
And one of them is George Lazenby.
He also pulled off a kilt. So
He did. Another one who else can pull off a bow tie?
Who?
Pierce Brosnan.
I don't remember that.
And you know who else can?
No. Okay.
Sean
calm
Connery.
Down. Calm down. Maybe Sean can. I'll have to think about the other two.
You know who else can? Roger Moore.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to do that, then he pulls it off too. If we're just going to say handsome dude equals good bow tie.
No, it's because his body, they usually get shoots that are more well fitted to their bodies.
I mean, that's like, do you mean like, no, that suits
The
fine.
shoulders look fucked.
Oh my God. Don't even talk about shoulders when we got like 90s buff, like shoulder pad suits.
I don't know. Also, I mean,
these are the suits I prefer. These suits.
Mads Mikkelsen looks better with his bow tie and his suit. His shoulders look better.
I don't think he has a bow tie on.
Yeah, he does. He's got a black bow tie.
I think he has a black regular tie.
No, he has a black bow tie.
I believe it because everybody else has bow. Oh no, the large black man that we love his outfit does not even have a tie on.
Yeah, talk about fucking shoulder pads. Whoo.
No, that's not shoulder pads. There isn't a suit big enough, so it's just puffed up because it's squeezing in the middle.
Bow tie.
He does have a bow tie.
Anyway, they're setting up the Casino Royale game, blah, blah, blah. And I think we start, he puts in, they all have to have a secret code for their bank. And they play the game, and it's a really well done scene.
Yeah, and the casting for everybody around the table is great.
Yeah. Bond calls his bluff, figures out what
his tell is.
Yeah. And yada, yada, yada. He tells Mathis and Vesper. Vesper also fucks up because she's supposed to come in and distract everybody else and kiss Bond on the cheek, but she distracts Bond.
Yep.
Then everyone starts ordering drinks, and that pisses the chief off. It's the first time we get to hear Jeffrey Wright talk, who's playing Felix.
Oh, yeah. Oh, love him. Second favorite. So glad that I can finally say it.
Mm-hmm.
Lord's number 3.
What?
No. Lord's number 1. Who's what's the other guy?
Van Nutter?
Yeah, Nutter. I was like, wait, no,
Yeah.
it's a funny name.
Yeah, I was supposed to be like, dude,
And then,
fuck yeah, what you said, dude. Jack Lord's a fucking man.
Lord, I just watched Dr. No again. Lord's so fucking good. It's exactly what I want in Felix.
Oh, that's that part where he's just like, where'd you get the suit, bub? Yeah, one of the guys, a guy in Washington, Felix
Yeah.
Leiter, CIA. It's so good. And then like, oh, you think we're fighting the same war? Oh, and they had that instant bomb. Ah!
It's so good. I think this one's pretty good too. I like that there's the relationship, like they kind of have like rapport at the table, but then he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry. What are you doing with that knife?
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah, and what's her face? Vesper is like all pissed off at Bond for whatever, and then they take a break, and Bond tries to poison Le Chiffre with the with his inhaler.
Oh no, it's a bug.
Oh, it's a bug.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's
Why didn't they just poison him?
the next. They don't want him to. And why doesn't he just shoot him in the head?
Because they're in public. But if he poisons him, he just dies.
He's going to his room. Just take him to the room.
It's good.
He gets attacked in his room anyway.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he didn't, because there would have been 2 guys in there already. That's how Bond knows what's going on in the room, is because the bug's in his inhaler.
You're correct. You're correct, my good sir. Le Chiffre goes in. He talks to his CW-looking girlfriend, and she's like, "I'm sorry," and kisses him, and she kisses nothing but chin, by the way. And the guys from earlier, like the terrorists, they start strangling. Where's my money? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Why didn't the plane blow up?
Yeah. All
They
that shit.
go, oh no. Yeah, let's do it in order. I was gonna skip right to what happens in the room.
Yeah. Well, you can talk. You can do
Okay,
it.
so the warlords are like, we're gonna cut your wife's arm off, and he's like, I'm gonna get your money. Don't worry. We got this. I'm gonna win the casino game. And he goes to cut off her arm, and stops right before her skin and goes, "Oh wow, look at that. He did nothing." And then they just leave. And I was like, I like that. He's like, I'm gonna fuck up your relationship because you don't actually care about this lady. And then Bond the whole time has been hearing this on the bug and is like, uh-oh.
Yeah. And then they catch
he's in trouble.
the 2 warlord guys figure it out, or they can see the earpiece in Bond, and they
leave
attack.
the room.
Yeah, they attack him. They have a big fight in the stairwell, which is probably the best action sequence in the film.
Yeah, I would say so. It's super good. I think it's well paced. The cuts are good, and then we get 2 satisfying deaths out of it.
Yeah, and Bond strangles the main guy to death. Vesper can't handle it. Well, he puts the bodies inside the little cubby. He says, "Tell Mathis that they're down here so we can get rid of them." And then I think Bond goes back upstairs and sees that she's sitting in the shower, like shaking and crying.
Yeah.
And he goes and comforts her and starts sucking on her fingers. I don't know what that's about, but all right.
Love.
Yeah, they're in love now.
Yeah, I don't really get that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, this is supposed to. So I think it's like weirdly like paced, because like we have this moment where this is supposed to be like, all right, they're gonna fall in love, and then the next moment that they have, like, she hates him again.
I don't know if she hates him in this, but I think she's like, oh, that's part of the job.
No, not that. No. It's when he loses the money. He's like, buy me in.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought
she's
you were
like-
talking about the
and she's like,
shower scene.
No.
Yeah.
And it's like,
She goes,
dude.
your ego got in the way, and you lost the money.
And it's like, no, Math is fucking.
He played me.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not building their relationship, which is what it should be doing, because you want us to care about her for 5 movies. I wonder. Well, I mean, I guess they didn't really think. Like, if they
didn't know Craig was gonna be fucking insane.
I mean, they didn't really know that they were gonna. Yeah, no, it is Craig being insane, being like, I want her to be the love interest that carries throughout.
Yeah, I want everything to be connected. It's like it doesn't need to be. You're a spy. You know how many terrorist organizations there are, dude?
I like that Vespa gets carried throughout, but I don't think I like the idea of it. I don't think they did it right though.
Yeah, you know, I think did it right. The other one, when Tracy was mentioned,
No, they
sparsely.
didn't do it enough. I wanted her mentioned more.
Why?
Because I want what happens with Craig, but done better.
Why?
Because I think there's too many times where he doesn't give a shit about any of it, and then one mention of her at a bar, he's like, "Whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, bleh."
Well, it's because it's a dude who's like had loss. He doesn't have to fucking think about it constantly. With Craig, it's the entire crux of his character, where it's all he fucking thinks about is like the fact that this girl who he barely knew betrayed him
to save him.
Yeah, like I don't know. He doesn't have like a Tracy-esque relationship for it to justify that.
No, that's what I want. I want this with Tracy, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
I think they didn't do it enough in the original series.
I think they did it enough.
I would have liked
They made a whole movie about him trying to find...
I also think my problem is that they try to do like every movie he's falling in love. I'm like, get this shit out of here.
I don't think they do.
I think they do it too much.
I think he falls in love 3 times or 4 or 5 times in the entire 20 movie series.
Is that counting Tracy?
Yeah.
Well, let's do post Tracy.
All right, post Tracy, he falls in love with
Kara.
That's all right, and I would probably say Natalia.
The Bond girls. He doesn't with Solitaire.
He falls in love with Natalia. He falls in love with Elektra.
Who's Triple X?
He does not fall in love with Triple X.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's like work. Oh, I'm looking.
He doesn't fall in love with Holly. He doesn't fall in love with BB. He doesn't fall in love with the girl from For Your Eyes Only. He doesn't fall in love with Octopussy. He doesn't fall in love with Tanya Roberts. He kind of falls in love with Pam Bouvier.
Yeah.
So
it's funny. I meant Pam, but I said Clara. But Clara
so Pam, Kara, Natalia, Elektra. That's 4.
Yeah. In what? 10 or so?
Out of like 20.
No, I'm saying post Tracy.
Post Tracy, 15.
That's the 5th movie?
No, it's a 6th
That's not
movie.
true.
It's a 6th movie, so
Okay.
it's 14.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's too many.
It's not. You're crazy.
Yeah.
Especially as the Elektra one is done so well. It's the whole crux of what's happening.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he finds a new Tracy, and he fucking...
That one's good.
Yeah.
I think that's the only... And like, I also... I don't know. I think he... behind the scenes, my leg hurts so much. I went snowboarding and hurt myself, and I've been holding back the but one just got through finally.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry if those don't get cut. I don't know. I feel like it's more in your face in some of them that he's like, "Ooh, I'm falling for this girl," but I must be wrong.
Yeah,
you have the better memory.
Well, because like, what other ones would he have? Because Roger Moore never fell in love with any character.
Yeah.
Connery never fell in love.
Yeah. I feel like they use...
It was only Dalton and Brosnan who fell in love. And they literally used him falling in love as a plot device to subvert his thing.
Mm.
And they literally used the ghost of Tracy pretty much to do the Electric King storyline.
Yeah.
So it's literally doing what you're asking, but doing it correctly.
Yeah, in one movie. I wanted that in all of them.
But then it would be repetitive.
Or bits of it in all of them.
You get a bit of it in License to Kill. You get a bit of it in For Your Eyes Only. You get a bit of it in Spy Who Loved Me.
Let's do this a different time.
You get it.
This is so long.
GoldenEye.
This is already such a long one from the first conversation. We're like halfway through the movie.
No, everything. Because the thing is that everything happened from this point on happens so quickly.
Yeah, I guess it's
just like
a lot of
it just takes so long. It's just but like only like 7 things happen from here on out.
Yeah.
Bond loses.
There's a lot.
No.
Yeah.
Bond loses the Bond. We go back to the card game. Bond loses. He loses all the money. He talks to Vesper and he's like, "All right, you need to flip me the extra $5 million to buy me back in." She's like, "No," and he's just like, "What are you talking? You just said like you hated the plan because we were gonna fund terrorism if I lost, but so if you give me $5 million, we can fix that." He's like, he changed the bluff, so something's up, blah blah blah. She's like, your ego got in the way, so she hates him again. I don't fucking know. Who gives a fuck? So he doesn't want this to lose. So he grabs a knife. He goes to go kill the chief. He tells Mathis to get the girl out of here. Felix later stops him. He's just like, I'm fucking bleeding cards, dude. Blah blah blah. And what are you doing?
I'm counting the things that are happening. So he loses. Felix buys him back in.
Mm-hmm. And because he's like, you're a better card player than I am, so I'm going to help you buy back in, yada, yada, yada.
Gets bought back in.
Immediately, he gets poisoned. Yep. So he goes out there, he has a heart attack. He has to use this fucking gadget to get back, and for some reason, M's doing it for him. I don't fucking
No. It's not M. It's like a medical division.
Well, the medical division, but somehow M's involved.
Yeah. No, I think they go, oh, it's Bond. And then it's stupid. She shouldn't. She's too invested in him already. Like, it's so dumb. Their relationship doesn't make sense yet. Like, if this was like 2 movies ago and Bond is like dying, I'd be like, oh, the favorite 000 agent is dying.
Yeah.
Let's get that figured out.
He is about to die. He can't hit. He's trying to hit the button to jumpstart his heart, but it's not plugged in. He passes out and he's dying.
Defibrillator. One of the pads disconnected, so it wasn't doing it.
And Vesper ends up saving him. And they're like, all right, Bond, go to a hospital. He's like, yep, I will after I beat Lashif.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you're going to go back in there? He's like, yeah. And he goes back in. Lashif's like, what?
I thought I just killed you.
Yeah, and then
he loses.
Yep, Lashif loses the game. So, what happens after that?
So now is another thing that I would count. Vespa is kidnapped.
Oh no, they have the dinner scene first, where he calls her out for being married.
Oh yeah.
Or having someone, and this is where they fall in love.
I'm not counting this as a thing.
Yeah,
they don't fall in love.
They fall in love in this, and it's kind of bullshit. Because also they have no chemistry.
Yeah,
at all.
I think they have a little from this point on. But
not in this
not
scene.
Not
in a crucial scene where they have to fall in love.
Yeah, maybe it's like the next scene. I think there was a little bit here. The train scene, I was like, no. A lot of the scenes, I was like, I don't care at all about this. Then Bond is kidnapped.
Well, Vesper gets kidnapped and Bond goes to find her, and then he flips his car. And it's the iconic Casino Royale shot. He's captured, and then Lashif is like, "Hey, Bond, give me that fucking money, bro."
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, "No." And so they cut a hole in the chair. They put him. They lock him down. He gets a naughty rope and start hitting him in the balls.
Mm-hmm. So I'm counting tortured as one of the things.
Okay.
Because I think the kidnapping and torture is one thing.
They also cut out his thing, right?
Yeah, his tracking device that M just installed in him. Which, how do they know it's there?
Anyway, they're hitting him in the balls, and he's like, "Just tell me where it is, and I'll stop." And all I can think of the entire time was like, imagine if one of the Jackass crew guys were in there, they would fucking helpless.
Yep,
absolutely helpless. Like, do it again, dude. Good footage.
This is where Jackass Bond comes in full swing for me. Yeah. He's like, I have an itch down there. Can you scratch it? And he's like, yeah, keep torturing me. Like,
well, yeah, he had to be like, no, a little to the right.
Yeah, and he's just scream laughing while he's being tortured. And I'm like, you're such an asshole, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And then we get the recovery mission.
Well, he kicks him down, and the Chief's able to cut off Bond's testes,
mm-hmm.
and Mr. White comes back in and he shoots Lashif.
Yep, right in the head. So main villain,
gone,
dead. Obviously he didn't get the password or anything. So now Bond goes into recovery, and
while Mathis is trying to spike one of Bond's drinks. Bond pretty much calls him out for being a cheat, like a fucking traitor, and he gets taken in. And then him and Vesper talk, and they're like, "Well, you're a money Bond. The password." She's like, "Oh, she can put it in." She's like, "I don't know the password." He's like, "Oh, it's Vesper," and she looks at him like,
so dumb.
Oh no! I love
$150 million in my name.
Yeah, and then
I just want to say quickly, I don't remember if it was a different movie or if it was the book for this, but I remember it's a 6-digit code, and it was her measurements. So it was the bust, the waist, and hip size for a dress. And I was like, oh, that's a good callback to when they were originally looking at each other in the train. She sizes him up. And when she gives him the suit jacket for the dinner jacket, he goes, "This is a tailored suit." And she's like, "Yeah, I got your measurements from the first time I looked at you." And I was like, "Oh, this is a great callback to it." And then he goes, "The password is Vespa." And I was like, "Oh my, what?"
Yeah, because I remember watching it and like being, I made a joke about it. And I'm like, it's the girl who doesn't like me's name. And then Nick was like, no, it's her measurements. And I was like, wait, what? Have I misremembered this?
That's too smart. That's too smart. What?
Yeah, like this is not that intelligent of a movie.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to research where that's from.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do. My passwords will always be my measurements.
Yeah, and then I remember being like, I think that this movie is not as good as Live and Let Die. I don't know if it's not as good as Goldfinger, though. I think it might be better than Goldfinger still. And then she says, I just want you to know that if it was just your mouth and your little finger,
your smile and your little finger.
And you would still be more than any man I've ever met in my life.
Including the boyfriend I'm trying to save.
And immediately in that moment, I was like, well, Goldfinger's better than this fucking shit.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with
terrible.
that. People say Wolves on Love is too goofy. Fuck you. Christmas Jones is too goofy. We got this fucking girl's name. It's your smile and your little pinky. Get the fuck out of here. I'm out of here. I'm done. Podcast is over. See you next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he didn't stop it. So now, and this is why I'm like, bro, there's more than 7 things.
Yeah, but we're almost there.
Yeah, I know.
What he resigns from MI6 because she's like, you won't let me in, and he's like, I would give anything for you, and he fucks her.
They go to Venice,
and they go to the beach, and like they cuddle, and then they go to Venice, and then he sends his resignation letter, and then she's just like, oh, now we gotta get real jobs now, and she's like, well, I'm gonna go to the bank, blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. And then he sees the text when it's what is it, ellipses or whatever?
No, it's I think it just doesn't say Mr. White. I forget what it says. And it's really hard to read because it's like 2000s text format. So it says like to, from, message, okay, delete, resend. Like it's got way too much shit on the screen. And but he goes, wait, what the hell?
No, that's not what happened. I'm sorry. I fucked that up. So she's kissing him. She's like, I'm gonna go out for a minute. And he's like, okay. And then M calls him. She's like, Bond, just so you know, we haven't gotten back that $150 million that you should have deposited. Have you not deposited that yet? And Bond is just like, shouldn't you deposit that the other fucking day?
Yeah.
And
what
he's
did I
like,
put the code in for?
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, I didn't think they'd miss it. She's like, haha, yeah, good. But you're gonna send it today, right? He's like, yeah, I'm on the bank right now. And he hangs up the phone and he goes and chases down Vesper. Mm-hmm. And no, he calls the bank first, and he's like, yeah, it's being moved into this other account. This account that is clearly not yours. Yeah. And he's like, oh, and he finds her, and they're going through Venice, and they're giving it to this guy who is clearly a villain. He has like an eye patch, sunglasses. Big shootout happens, and a bunch of explosions, which makes the building sink. Bond shoots the guy in the eye, and Vesper is locked in an elevator, and as the building is sinking, and she's just like, I'm sorry, James. And he's like, no, we're going to get you out, blah, blah, blah. But the building sinks too quickly, and then she ends up killing herself, and Bond can't save her, and he's all sad. Then he talks to M.
He's all sad for the next...
He then talks to M, and M is like, her boyfriend was kidnapped by these people who are going to be revealed as Quantum, who are going to be revealed as Spectre, who will probably, if we're rewatching No Time to Die, will probably be revealed as Rami Malek somehow. She's like, yeah, he was being captured, so they had her like working like to double cross you, blah blah blah. But then he's like, all right, well, it doesn't matter, the bitch is dead. And she's like, yeah, I thought you should know that in the sub. She like, was
there's
like,
a reason you're alive still.
It's because of her. She made the deal for your life, blah blah blah. And he kind of looks off, and is like, I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I can't show emotions, you know. Bond's a guy who has no emotions, even though every Bond actor has shown emotions except Roger Moore. Actually, no, Roger Moore showed more emotion. God damn.
He did show emotion.
Anyway, then we have Mr. White. He's at his place. He gets a call. He uses Vesper's phone to call Mr. White, and the guy's like, who is this? And then gets shot in the leg, and the guy crawls up, and then Bond shows up with a machine gun. He stands over and he goes, name's Bond. James Bond. He's Bond now.
Yeah. I'm all right with James Bond, but I don't think it's even close to the best one at all.
No, I don't think it's a good one.
Yeah, I think it's better I think it's fine. I think it's better when it's in like a more
relaxed context.
Yeah, in like towards the beginning, like meeting the bad guy. I know it's like the trope one, but I like when it's like, oh, who are you?
Yeah.
Like if he did it at the casino table when he's like, oh, or are you Mr. Bond? And he goes, I'm Bond, James Bond.
Yeah.
And or something like that earlier on.
Yeah, because the best one is still the beginning where it's just like, I admire your luck, mister. And he cuts to Connor lighting the cigarette. Bond.
Yeah.
James Bond. That's like, oh, that's what you want.
Yeah. Good, especially because it's the first one.
Yeah. Or when he like I like it when it's more casual. Like in Goldfinger when she turns around and she's like, who are you? And he's like, Bond. James Bond. It's like, and you have the
This one was great. I will say I fucking love him with the MP5. Like those still frames of him like that, I love.
Yeah.
I thought they were in Quantum of Solace. Is why at the end of this I was like, oh yeah. I was like, it's not in the worst one.
Vesper's death just happened again, and I'm just in my head. I'm just getting that scene from Wolf of Wall Street in my mind. You feel anything? Nope.
It's. I don't know. I think it's dumb. I don't really get why she killed herself. But whatever.
Yeah, because she couldn't live with the shame.
Yeah, I don't get it. Just break up with your boyfriend.
Right?
Yeah,
your boyfriend who was cheating on you
still.
apparently or something. That's what I remember from Quantum. I don't remember if that was the case. Anyway. That's Casino Royale. Let's do our fucking thing.
Bond. Oh no. I almost pulled a U.
What?
I almost started with Bond. Did we start with Bond? Why do I feel like it's been
years
since I did this?
We start with because fucking Dino Day took fucking years off your life.
Yeah.
We start with pre-title sequence, right?
I feel like we do. I don't know if we. Hold on. Where are you, Notepad?
Where do you hide? It's that moon. Raker knows.
Oh God. He's broken everyone. All right, here we go. Yeah, we start with pre-title. Okay, Bond's right after that. Pre-title, I really like the idea of this, like showing the OG mission that got him the 00 status. I think the bathroom fight scene is all right, but I think we talked about in detail enough why we think the actual desk scene could have been better. But I'd still give it like 3.5, 4.
I'm gonna give it 3.
I really like the gun barrel. I don't think it's the best one. I think it's like an honorable mention because I don't want to put it in the category of the other ones just because it's so different. It's like, what was that? Is Die Another Day the one before this? I don't want to count that because it's just, they went, how can we break this formula and try to make it our own? And then it's just stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the black and white aspects.
Yeah, that's
I like
true.
the
I do
idea.
like
you know, it reminds me of this movie that this company now is media made called Thankless. I don't know. Maybe some people should watch that.
Yeah, that came first.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sorry if I'm quiet. I keep not talking into the mic.
Yeah, Nick's been doing this for 21 episodes, and he still hasn't figured out how a podcast works.
It's this leg.
Yeah. No, blame it on the leg, Nick.
Yeah. I have to blame it on something. It can't be me.
Yeah. I'm too good.
The next one's title sequence, which 5. Everything I like and one of my favorite songs. How can I go wrong? I am excited to see. I remember liking the Skyfall title sequence more, like the visuals of it with the like cemetery scene and everything. So I'm excited to see that again and see how that falls for me.
I'll say this. This movie is making me excited to watch Skyfall because I mean, more desperately, I hope it's good.
Yeah. I am shocked how much I didn't like this compared. Like, I literally thought this was going to be like my number 3. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, whoa. Like, this Bond is like a 3.5.
You really think this Bond is... Oh, in the movie?
No. The Bond is the next category.
That high?
Yeah. I'm fine with it. I think it's... Like I said, for the Jackass Bond, I'm fine with it.
I'm giving Daniel Craig a 2 here, my guy.
Wow.
And that's
okay.
generous. That's me being very generous.
I don't think that's that great. I think there were some great scenes. I think the torture scene is a star on its own.
Nick, if I wasn't being nice, he would get way lower.
Why?
Because he sucked.
Yeah, you can't think of any redeeming qualities
No.
from this.
I can't think of his one-liners were bad. He
In his defense, there was 2.
yeah, but he said them in a way where he was clearly like, "Oh, I'm above the material." It's like, dude, you're an unknown actor doing in British indie movies and television before this. Like, you're not above anything.
Yeah, I think
his action is not as good as Brosnan's action or Lazenby's action.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the romantic qualities of Bond. He doesn't have the swagger or the suaveness of Bond. And it's like, well, that's his first one. And it's also about Bond becoming Bond, but he never gets that. He never grows into it. He stays this way from here until No Time to Die.
Mm.
So I can't agree with that. So I think that this sucks.
Yeah, I love the torture scene. I think he's great at the casino playing. I think he actually puts effort into the action and looks like a sweaty mess afterwards. Like, there's a lot of redeeming things in there. I don't think he's good with the romance. There's a lot of the Vesper stuff. I was like, I don't buy this at all.
I'll give you that. He is good with the casino stuff.
Yeah, like I think him talking to the villains is good.
Yeah.
Like, and I see it, and again, I'm not counting it in this because I don't think it's great in this, but like his companionship with Felix, I think gets built out better later on. Because like in this one, I'm like, it's all right. I feel like they just met, and like
well, they did just meet. But here's my issue with that is I would agree with you if Felix had shown up in Skyfall or Spectre, but he doesn't. He shows up in Quantum for like a scene.
Oh, see, I thought I remember him being in Quantum more.
He's in like a scene or two,
okay.
and then he shows up in No Time to Die. Like, remember all those missions we went on? How we're best friends, even though we haven't been really, and I haven't shown up in literally a decade.
Mm.
And
see, I thought in Dr. No, it almost feels like isn't, even though it's their first time meeting, it almost feels like they have read reports of each other type thing, and they're like, "Oh, Felix, yes, nice to actually meet you." In this, he's like, "Why are you stopping me?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Felix from the CIA." And he's like, "Oh, okay, want to buy me in?"
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's any friendship yet at all.
No, not at all. The other thing, here's my issue with. I love Jeffrey Wright as Felix. I'm going to say that before we even talk about the Felix. But I think the problem with what you were saying is I feel like they go from Dr. No, Felix encounter, right to License to Kill. They're like Bond and Felix are meeting. They're going to become great friends. Also, Felix is going to sacrifice himself for his close buddy James Bond. It's like, what? No.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, especially I thought he was in Quantum more.
Yeah.
So that it makes it even worse later on.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to, of course, but darn.
Yeah, I think we had like 7 appearances before License to Kill.
Yeah. And obviously they're kind of all over the place with them, but it still feels right.
Yeah.
What could have been
more
Felix's?
But
keep Coral.
Yeah, and my thing is I think he's good with. So Craig is really good with like the casino scenes. He's good at not showing emotions.
He is the king of not showing emotions.
Yeah,
or crying.
Yeah, not in that cool like British actor way of like, oh, there's restrained emotions. No, it's just not showing anything.
No, I think I get anger emotions from it. Like, bitch is dead. It's like, okay, you are clearly bottling everything up, which is going to make you into a toxic person, which it does.
But it doesn't, because he comes like the best dude of all the Bonds.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, he has 2 of the worst movies.
But as a dude, he becomes really like a good guy throughout like.
Well, I mean, he has a redemption arc with Skyfall.
Yeah, because he's tried to redeem the worst movie he ever made, but and then he makes another shit one. And then he has to redeem, and then he becomes like, oh, I'm a good guy. I could be a daddy. in No Time to Die.
We'll see.
And even then, he barely has a reaction to it.
I'm excited to see, because in my head, he's Jackass Bond now, and I assume he is in the next one. And then Skyfall, he has a coming to moment where he's like, oh, this is affecting people. And then Spectre, I forget about, and then No Time to Die is the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like I'm all right with that.
I don't think he's that good of a jackass.
I think it's fine. I
think the ball one is a good moment of being a jackass, but I don't think it's like, Sean's jackassness, whereas the Spectre
I wouldn't
of
call
Defeat.
him a jackass.
Sean is definitely a fucking.
You call that silly? You're like, oh, I like the silly stuff.
But he's being a prick.
Yeah.
Oh, the Spectre of Defeat. It means your luck was about to change. Now I'm gonna go fuck your daughter. I think like Sean's jackass stuff is way funnier.
You can't just give everything to
Sean. I can, because he was the better Bond.
Like,
it's almost like he
said,
originated the role.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, I put him more on the level of Dalton than Craig. Like, I don't even think it's like apples to oranges. Like, Sean's too good.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody except George looks terrible against Connery, because it's like, oh, yeah, he was the master of it.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely believe that Connery, Brosnan, and Lazenby are on the same level.
Like, I could be talked either way with them, but you always have, no matter what I say about any of them, you're like, yeah, but Sean Connery did this scene perfectly in one of his 8 movies.
Yeah, because he was better
than
most of them.
It's true.
It's facts. It's also because what were we gonna say? With Roger Moore, or Dalton.
You said that Roger Moore is better than Craig, and I still don't.
I said he's better giving emotions. I think he looks better in a suit.
Yeah.
I didn't say he was better.
Look good in suits.
I did not say he was a better Bond. He is not a better Bond.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. We'll see how many Craig movies you give higher Bond ratings than you did for Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Then we'll see if you're just being mean to Craig.
No, I mean, genuinely, I'd probably give him a 1.5 here.
I'll go back and see how many more as you gave ones.
How many more movies were there? It was 7?
Too many.
7, so I gave him 1 7 times.
I don't think you did. I know I didn't, and I hated it.
Only one I gave him a good rating for was Spy Who Loved Me.
I don't know if I even gave him a 1 in Live and Let Die. But I like Craig a lot. I still think Jackass might be the wrong way to say it. That's just how I am trying to summarize how he is in my head. But I just like what he does with the role. But the emotional, the romance stuff just isn't there. And I'm like, stop trying to force it.
I don't like what he does with the role. Just genuinely.
Dude, we all know. All 17 of us know.
Yeah. But
we've known since Sean Connery's days.
Yeah. I will give him this, though. He is a great actor outside of these movies. He's really good in Logan Lucky. And he's very good in...
That's such a different part, too.
And he's very good in a British show called Our Friends Up North. He's also very good in Layer Cake, and he's also very good in Knives Out.
Yeah. I really like... Did you like him in... I haven't seen it yet, but he's in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah, he's good in that. That's probably his best performance, honestly.
That's what I've heard. Still haven't watched it, though. I'm worried it might be too gritty for me, but I'm sure...
Yes.
Eventually, I'll have to power through it.
It is too gritty for Nick.
Yeah, I'm a little baby sometimes. But we can move on to Bond Girl, which is also pretty low. I think Bond was better than her.
2.5.
I'm probably going.
She was better than last week.
Yeah,
that's what I can say.
Definitely. Yeah, maybe 2.5. I don't think I can justify the 3. I don't think she has enough good scenes on her own, or any scenes on her own.
She doesn't at all.
No. Felix is next, which I like this Felix. Like I said, he's my second. I give it a 4.
4.5.
Nice.
I really like Jeffrey Rush.
And
right. Sorry.
I love the scene where they meet on the staircase. And he's like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
we get to take a minute if you win.
I also like his little like going back and forth with Bond at the table occasionally.
Yeah.
Like I like that shit.
Yeah, like the scene where they all get the same drink as Bond is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's so funny.
Guys, I love Mads. Is that it? Can we play cards now?
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna count Felix as everybody at the table just so I can give them a 5.
Yeah.
Because they're so fucking good.
Fat dude in the jacket, 5 stars.
Oh, he's so good. The scene where it's the 5, I think Felix is out at that point. It's just the 4 of them in the final hand,
Mm-hmm.
and they all go all in, and it's just everybody one-upping each other with the hands. And the heavy guy just does this thing with his pinky. And I'm like, I fucking love you, dude. You are perfectly cast for this.
Yeah. Like I said, I love Jeffrey Wright as Felix. I think they could have had him in more, but instead they rushed him.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. It's a damn shame. MI6 is next, which no money penny.
So 0 stars.
Yeah. I don't think M was very good. I'd give it like 2.
Yeah.
I like the medical branch coming in.
Yeah, I thought that was okay. I guess.
think that's interesting. I'm not gonna rate them, but little honorable mention.
Honorable mention, but I think
what's her assistant's name?
I don't.
M's guy. I think he's good in this. I think he does this level for all of them. Like
no, this is the only time this guy shows up. We get a Bill Tanner and Skyfall and on.
That's because I'm like I like.
They establish a real MI6 in Skyfall,
mm-hmm.
and in this during this time, Craig was like, I don't want MI6. That's too old fashioned.
Yeah, even though that's
the company that I'm working for shouldn't exist.
Yeah, dumb.
Fuck me.
Yeah, villain.
You know what? I was clowning on Lashif weeks ago. I'm gonna give the guy a 4.5.
Yeah, I really like him. I think he has a very complex character, which I like. Even though Mr. White's kind of like the real villain, I think he's like the perfect middle guy.
Yeah, if we're counting Mr. White, then the movie sucks.
Yeah, like I like all of Mr. White's appearances. Like I think they're all fine.
Yeah, but he's not in there enough for me to justify.
Oh
that.
yeah, but it's pretty good. I'm thinking like 4. I wasn't like blown away, but man, he's in my top 5.
I like Mads.
You like who?
Mads Mikkelsen, the actor.
Oh yeah. What's he in? Is it Lecter? What's the Hannibal? Is it just called Hannibal? Is he in that?
Yep.
I want to watch that.
He's also in Rogue One.
I fucking love him in Rogue One.
He's also in that movie that I don't remember the name of, but it's like a foreign film where he's an alcoholic and it's really good.
He's in a couple things that I like, but if they're not jumping to
he's in Pusher, which is a good movie.
Haven't heard of that one.
It's by the guy who Drive.
Whoa!
It was his first movie.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, they did 3 of them. Pretty good.
Pusher,
1,
and
2.
Pushers.
Yeah, Pusher, Pushing, and Pushing.
Perfect. Henchman. I'm gonna count the guy with the glasses that one's an eye patch. I'll give him a 2.
Are we counting the Warlords?
Yeah, we can count. That's pretty good.
Are we counting we're counting the guy with the burn on his face, right?
Yeah, I would, and then we can count the guy at the airport. So
that guy sucked.
Yeah, airport guy. I think he looks right for the role, and I think he put a lot into it. But it was like, eh.
He didn't even put shit into it. He got moved around like a fucking robot.
Yeah, but I think that might be how he is in person. That's how I imagine that person would be, though. Like, I've never seen a bomber before in person, but I imagine that they would be as unhuman as that guy was.
Yeah.
And I liked the gentleman at the beginning with the burn. His parkour was super cool. I don't know if he had a stunt double or if he was doing it.
He's the best henchman. I'm giving him 4, and everyone else is getting a fat 1.
Oh, I like the guy with the glasses costuming too much to give him a 1. He's a 2.
Fucking hate that guy. He did
And
nothing.
then-
He had nothing to the proceedings.
The Warlords were all right. I liked their fight scene a lot.
Yeah, I'm having trouble giving them like they were more villains than they were henchmen. So I can't I'm having a hard time giving them a ranking because they also showed up twice. Like, they showed up, established themselves, tried to hurt.
He was playing
Lashif.
a pinball machine. Give him a score.
Fuck you. What's next?
Story. I think this story is good. It's just if you believed the romance, this would have been a good story.
If it was, so what you're saying is if it had a better director, better Bond, and a better actor, better Bond girl. Yeah, I give it a pretty high score. Then I'd probably give it a 4-star.
Pretty good.
If this was made in the
I'm going
60s, this would have been one of the best Bond movies ever made.
Yeah, I think they should. I want the next. If they do the next Bond as a period piece and they start with Casino, I will. I don't know if I'll make it to another movie. That might be my last movie.
Yeah, like I've seen everything I needed.
It's peaked. Cinema has peaked.
Yep. I think if this was, like I said, done by the people who made like Dr. No and From Russia with Love, or better yet, if it was made by the people who did On My Secret Service, this would probably be like top tier for me.
Yeah.
But it's
Imagine. Oh my god.
I think it's because like Casino Royale is such an old story, and they're trying to update it too much, and it makes everything too complicated.
Yeah. It's those damn phones.
Yeah. You damn fucking kids, the clouds are up there fucking plotting our fucking destruction.
Your fucking phone.
Yeah. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Watching a movie on a phone. Fuck you.
Cinematography's next. We had that terrible green screen at the beginning.
We also had that really terrible moment of him on drugs where they just turned the ISO out of fucking
blew it to the moon.
Yeah.
There was all of the Dutch angles at the beginning.
Those are fine.
And I think like 6 back to back.
I think they were trying to emulate the
like
Third
Noir
Man.
Yeah, I think it was too many. Maybe 2 or 3 not cut into each other.
I think because I know what they're trying to do with that, and I think it worked enough that I'll give it to them. I think because it's not the ISO scene, I'm fine with it.
It's because they did it worse later on in the movie.
Yeah.
And then
it literally looks like a 2000s action movie. So I'm giving it like a 2.5 or 3.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 2.5. There's some cool overhead shots. Some of the action scenes had good cuts in them, but they were cut of stupid scenes.
Yeah,
but it looked good.
Yeah,
it just was dumb. Gadgets is next, which
0. There's none.
No gadgets, even though there kind of is, but there shouldn't have been if he didn't want them. And then the car, which the car was sick. The compartments were dumb.
So I'm going to give that a 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2. It's probably my 3rd favorite car, but it was wasted.
Yeah. So not a big fan of this movie.
Overall, it's in my top 10. I'm still trying to decide where it falls, whether it's 8 or 9.
I think this is number 13 or 14.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. It's over. It's definitely above. It's definitely above For Your Eyes Only, and that's all it needed to be.
Just need to get over the half.
Yeah, but as a regular Bond film, I think it's just okay.
Mm-hmm. And then just for reference for me too, I'm trying to think if I liked it more than Spy Who Loved Me. I don't think I did, and I think I liked it more than License to Kill.
I like License to Kill more because I felt more.
I also think yours is higher rated than mine is too.
I'm 1 above for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll pull up my ranking real quick. So what I have above Casino Royale will be
just so go from your 1 and just go down to it.
GoldenEye, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Thunderball, From Russia with Love, Dr. No, World's Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies, The Living Daylights, License to Kill, Spy Who Loved Me, Live and Let Die, and Goldfinger.
Nice. And then mine is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, GoldenEye, Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and Thunderball. So we agree, just not in that order.
Mm-hmm.
And then The World's Not Enough, Living Daylights, and then either Casino Royale or The Spy Who Loved Me. I just have to decide which one of those is gonna beat out Tomorrow Never Dies. I don't know what it is with Pierce's movie posters, but I can never read them. I always have to be like, which one is this?
Yeah. And that's going to conclude this episode of
how long
Bonding
was
with
this?
Bond.
I just want to see this.
It's only 2 hours and 8
Whoa,
minutes. This is
dude.
under our usual.
Dude, I was like scared. This one was going so long at the beginning. I was like,
No,
oh, God.
It's because this is a movie where nothing happens. Well, a lot of things happen, but they happen for like ever.
Yeah. Dude, I literally thought we were at like 2:40. I was like, oh, I'm like sweating. Like, I can't believe this is going to be one of the longest.
No.
Good. Well, we made good time, everybody.
Yep. Well, thank you for listening. Keep on listening to us here on Spotify and on YouTube. And subscribe to us if you can on YouTube and watch our films. And we'll see you next week to do the worst Bond movie ever. Or now, is it probably going to be the best one?
Who knows?
Who knows at this point? Because a lot of our predictions have been wrong.
Oh, my God. Imagine if we fucking love Quantum.
I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. See you next time.
See ya.